Everyone, this is Miss Dustman. I'm the fourth grade Basic Skills Language Arts teacher at the Pennsauken Intermediate School. Today we are going to go over the final contingency plan for remote learning. This format is a little more flexible than the last two remote learning plans you received. You are able to move at your own pace now with weekly goals rather than having to complete daily tasks. This is why you will now see Section 1 and Section 2 on your cover page rather than a daily schedule type lesson plan. Just a reminder, all remote learning activities are due by May 15th. As far as collecting completed work, we do not have that information at this time. Parents and guardians will be given that information at a later date. As always, if you have any questions, please email or reach out to your child's language arts teacher. Okay, this is the cover page that you had received. There are 4 areas of language arts branches that you are responsible for completing at your own learning pace: grammar, spelling, reading, and writing. Of the 4 branches of language arts, there are 5 activities that you are responsible for: spelling, grammar, Writein Readers, iReady packets, and a new journal memoir book project called I Survived. Let's go over each of these 5 activities. Okay? The first we're going to go over is spelling. As you have seen before, you should be quite familiar with what the expectations are for spelling. If you just keep working on the pages that are indicated on your cover sheet, you will be just fine. One note that I do want to say is that there are no lines on the PDF format that you have received in the mail. So a tip would be to either draw your own lines or use your nicest, neatest handwriting to write as close to the number as possible. That will help you keep your information organized and keep it easy for the teacher. Okay, as far as grammar pages, this is new. You'll see at the top grammar up here, and the page numbers are on the bottom, of course. I did a completed example of grammar page 199 for you to show you exactly what we are looking for in our grammar answers. So it says, write the adjectives that describe the underlined nouns. Then write what kind or how many for each adjective. We saw several flashes of bright lightning across the sky. Flashes is a noun. Lightning is a noun. Several describes the noun. Flashes. Several is talking about how many. Okay? Bright is describing the noun lightning. Bright indicates what kind of lightning. So this would be an example of how to write what kind or how many to match those adjectives that you found in the sentence. For number 4, today heavy traffic often clogs the streets of big cities. Okay, I circled traffic because that's the noun that's in the sentence, and cities is also a noun that's in the sentence. Okay, the words that are describing the noun, which are the adjectives, I wrote on the line. Heavy describes the traffic, so I wrote that on the line. Big describes cities, so I wrote that on the line. So that's just an example of the grammar pages and how to answer those questions, because as you see, the directions change midway on the page, so that's a little bit different than what you are used to. Okay, the next thing that we are going to go over on our contingency plan are the Writein Readers, which you are pros with. You have received Writein Readers since day 1 of remote learning. The next batch of Writein Readers that you will receive are Lesson 18, Heroes of Old Tales, Lesson 19, Slavery, Lesson 20, Exploring the West. These packets include vocabulary questions and read, stop, think, and respond type questions. When you get to those types of response questions with the multiple lines, you want to be sure to restate when you are writing those answers on the line, and of course include text evidence in your answer. Okay, we're going to now go over the new activities that were added in the final contingency plan that you have not seen before. Okay, the first are the iReady packets. The first iReady packet is called A Golden Vase and Two Bright Monkeys, and this is a folktale genre article. So you're going to have vocabulary study in it, you're going to have the child read the passage, and then you're going to answer these multi-step questions, which are like part A, part B type questions. Just follow the directions that are on the page. You can do it with the child. If you have any questions or concerns, please email, call, dojo message your teacher for any other support. Again, you see the multiple lines, you want to restate the question, and you want to use text evidence when you are answering that. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea is a science article. That is our second iReady activity that is included in your last packet. This is an informational text that also includes informational text features. This is a diagram. It has labels on it. Your children have seen these types of informational text features in guided reading groups, so they should be pretty familiar with that. These are also multi-part questions that you can go and answer. We also have graphic organizers where the child needs to fill out and just follow those directions. Again, since it's new, you may have some trouble with it. If you have any trouble, please contact your child's teacher for additional support. Okay. Last, what we are going to go over, which is probably the most involved, is the I Survived journal. Now, as you can see on the cover page, it is not in section 1, not in section 2, so on and so forth. The reason being is that your child can work on this at their own pace. They do not have to do a chapter a week. If they want to do 2 chapters a week, that's great. If they want to do half a chapter and then do 2 chapters the next week, that's great too. We wanted to keep it as flexible as possible, just as long as chapters 1 through 5 are due by May 15th. So again, this was not an error. This was intentional, and it is so that your child has the flexibility of working on their memoir book on their own and at their own learning pace. I'm going to pull up what the expectations are for this right now. So you may or may not be familiar with this series of books, but the I Survived books are basically memoirs of interesting events that the author provided a first-hand account. So you can see here's the example of some of those books. You may have seen them at the book fair. Your child may even have brought them home from library. Your child is going to write an I Survived style book detailing how they felt during this worldwide coronavirus pandemic. The expectations for the chapters 1 through 5 are detailed on the paper, and you can use this as a guideline when you are writing your book. Okay, so there's chapter 1, chapter 2, and it has all of the information that you need to provide in each chapter when you are writing your book. So like we said before, you're not going to see this on that cover page because you can work on 1 to 2 chapters a week, just as long as you have all 5 completed by the due date on May 15th. Okay, another thing that I wanted to talk about with the I Survived the Coronavirus Pandemic I Survived book is the format. You have a choice. If you have computer access, you are encouraged to do Google Slides. If you do not have Google Slides, you could do a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word doc. And if you do not have computer access whatsoever, you can do it on lined paper the traditional way. Just make sure that if you do it on lined paper, you also want to provide detailed illustrations to go with your memoir. So you also want to do drawing to go with that. Whereas Google Slides, you can insert pictures that you may find on the internet. But that is your choice, and do not feel obligated to go run out and buy a Chromebook. If you don't have the technology, we do have other alternatives for you. And again, any questions with that, you need to contact your child's language arts teacher, and they will give you more information on that. Okay. After chapter 5, you do not need to necessarily be responsible for it says section 5 is optional for extra credit. So at least get through sections 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm also assuming that on that writing journal after chapter 5, that would be extra credit too. So if you want to go above and beyond with your I Survived Coronavirus Pandemic memoir, that would be awesome. Of course, we encourage you to do your very best. So that was an overview of the next group of activities for the final contingency for remote learning. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to your language arts teachers via email, dojo, or however else you typically communicate with them. Now, I can speak for all teachers when I say that we truly appreciate your patience, hard work, flexibility, and positive response to your child's education during this worldwide pandemic. We are here for you and we support you. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay healthy and safe. Take care.